reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. Thus says the Lord to Shebna, master of the palace, I will thrust you from your office and pull you down from your station. On that day I will summon my servant Eliakim, son of Hilkiah. I will clothe him with your robe and gird him with your sash, and give over to him your authority. He shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. I will place the key of the house of David on Eliakim's shoulder. When he opens, no one shall shut. When he shuts, no one shall open. I will fix him like a peg in a sure spot, to be a place of honor for his family. The word of the Lord.
Our first reading for this Sunday comes from the prophet Isaiah. We have this premier of the people, Israel, named Shebna, master of the house, who will be replaced. Oh my God, if you are a prime minister and you get a prophet like Isaiah coming to you for a visit with the news you will be replaced, how would you feel? But who was replacing Shebna? A person called Eliakim. Oh, but that is the easier answer to the question. The more surprising answer to my question, who was replacing Shebna, was God. It was God who decided that Shebna's reign should end, and that authority will now be placed on the shoulders of Eliakim. Now, I said this is surprising that God should intervene in who would be the premier of His people. But on second thought, it is His people. It is Israel. It is God's people that is concerned. And so ultimately, the one who should rule and the one who should choose the human rulers of His people is God. And here, through the prophet Isaiah, God exercises His dominion over His own people. But part of the mystery of the first reading is that God trusts human beings enough in order to place them in positions of authority. I am a person in authority myself as a bishop, and I am very careful in choosing collaborators to take care of delicate aspects of our pastoral administration. God is so good. God trusts in human beings made of dust, people who are weak, people who are sinful, to manage His household. And the way God spoke through the prophet Isaiah of the role of Eliakim reminds us of the authority that God mysteriously bestows on Eliakim. I will place the key of the house of David on his shoulder. When he opens, no one shall shut. When he shuts, no one shall open. The figure of the keys has entered here. And for the church, the image of the keys would always symbolize for us authority in the church. Now, already in Isaiah, that was the image used of the authority of Eliakim. It is God who gives him authority. Keys. Who will receive the keys? If we are in a regular kingdom, or even in an orchard or a vineyard, it is the most trusted servant that gets the keys from the landowner. So the trusted servant should execute the will of the owner. He is the person who can open the gate to any people, any person who wants to enter the vineyard. And he should make sure that the door is locked at the proper time. And he does this. He does all of this with the authority of the owner. We are before here a great mystery. God's tremendous trust in human beings. But at the same time, we have before our very eyes something that is frightening. How can human beings, how can we, in our limitation, weaknesses, and in our sinfulness, approximate the mind of God? How can we administer the goods of the earth and of society according to the mind of God? So we are before the greatness of authority received from God and also the limitation of such authority.